King James Bible, Matthew 25:14 through 30. For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, to every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey. What is a talent? According to the Strong's Bible Dictionary, talent, word number G5007, means a balance, that is, a certain weight, or rather a sum of money.
All right. First off, I want everybody to see what Bible I'm using. I'm using the Holy Bible, the King James Version, the giant print references, the concordance, World of Jesus in red, or Word of Jesus in red.
Nelson.
This is also the Nelson King James Version. So I would just want everybody to know what Bible, we're going to be working out of. All right, y'all. We're going to be looking into the King James Bible, Matthew 25, verse 14. And basically what I'm arguing in this is that this section of the Bible, Jesus is telling you how the kingdom of heaven wants you to handle its business. In a joking way, Jesus wants his money. And I know that might come off as offensive to some people, but, we let the facts prove itself. So we're going to look into chapter 25, Matthew chapter 25, verse 14. It says, "For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods." So that's letting you know that the kingdom of heaven is being compared in this scenario. Verse 15, "And unto he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, to every according to his several abilities, and straightway took his journey." This is where you start to hear the word talent. And what we're arguing is that the talent that's being described in this section isn't a talent of ability. It says to every man's ability, but in this section, it's describing ability as in how you handle money, not ability as in you're a carpenter. So we're going to look at 16. And 16 says, "Then he that received the 5 talents went and traded with the same, and made them 5 talents, and made them another 5 talents." Excuse me. I'm going to read that again. "Then he that had received the 5 talents." So if you notice right here, there's this T that's right before the 5. This T represents the definition that's being used right under for 26,400. And there's also another T, and we'll get to that. But we're going to look at this small T right here. It says, "Then he that had received 5 talents." So that T is telling you what 5 talents was. It's saying right here, 26,400. So he that received 26,400 as a talent went and traded with the same, and made them other 5 talents, and made them other 5 talents. And if you look at this other T right here, right between and made, it says "and made." The other part is earned, and earned them another 5 talents. So basically, In 16, the servant has taken the money and, in our modern words, has flipped it, has doubled it, has made its earnings bigger. And when you look at verse 17, it continues. Now, I want you to also notice these small t's that come up next to some of the words. So in 17, it says, and likewise, he that received, with the t, 2, he also gained another 2. So let's look at 17 again. And likewise, he that received 2, and that T right there represents that 2. So it's telling you what he received, $10,560. And it says he also gained another 2. That T is saying he also earned another 2. So something that's not always shown in the Bible is what these little small indented letters mean inside of the writing, and they connect you to the definition. So in 16 and 17, you can see that the person that's being compared to the kingdom of heaven is going out in the world and handing his servants money. That's a key piece.
Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee, that thou art a hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, thou hast that is thine. His Lord answered and said unto him, Thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I reap where I sowed not, and gather where I have not strawn. Thou oughtest therefore have put my money to the exchangers, and then at my coming I should have received my own with usury. Take therefore the talent from him, and give it unto him which hath 10 talents. For unto every man that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that have not shall be taken away, even that which he hath. And cast ye the unprofitable servant into utter darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
The guy who is being compared to the kingdom of heaven is handing his servants money. So it says in 18, but he that had received 1 talent, or 1, went and digged into the earth and hid his Lord's money. Now we're going to read that again. It says at 18, but he that had received 1, and there is a T there before the 1, showing you how much the money was, which was $5,280. It says he took the $5,280 and buried it in the earth and hid his Lord's, or you see the T right here next to the Lord, his master's money. So it's clearly established that the talents that everybody was given in this story was money. This is very important right here. It says in 19, after a long time, the Lord of those servants come and reckon with them. There's a T right there. Reckon with them and checked with them. Verse 20. And so he that had received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou delivered unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained besides them 5 talents more. So what that guy literally told his master is that he took the money that was given to him and he doubled it. He flipped it. And he has it to present to the one who gave him the money. Verse 21. His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good, faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. So this person who is being compared to uh, heaven or Jerusalem is happy that his servant has taken the money that was given to him and flipped it. And that's basically what's being said. Let's look at 22. It says, he also that had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents besides them. So the other servant also took the money that was given to him and he flipped it. This sounds like business. It doesn't sound like the kingdom of heaven. This sounds like business. When we're taught about, heaven and things of that nature, you don't expect money to be there or for money to be into the same comparison as in how the business of heaven is handled. But we'll go on to 23. It says, his Lord said unto him, well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. If you see the T there, there's a T there next to few. Thou hast been faithful over a few thing or a small thing. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of the Lord. So the master is happy because his money is being flipped.
You are a good servant if you double your money.
Things go different. It says right here, then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, this is important right here, y'all. I knew thee that thou art an hard man. So he's saying, I know that you're a hard man, or you're a rough man, you're a serious person, reaping where thou hast not sowed. That was interesting right there. He's telling his master that he reaps where he has not sowed. It says, reaping where thou hast not sown. His servant just told his master that you don't earn what you got. And then he said, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. He just told his master that he knows that he is a serious man, and he knows that the money that's been given to him isn't earned properly, isn't good money. It comes from something obviously negative, because he's telling him that he has not sown it. He's also telling him that thou hast not strawed it. He has not worked for it. We want you to understand the word not. Hast not sown, and gathered where thou hast not strawed. So he is clearly saying that he knows that his master's money doesn't come from legitimate means. We go to 25. It says, and I was afraid and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast that is thine. So he knew that that money was bad. He knew that the master was harsh, harsh enough to get angry if you failed with that money. So he decided not to do anything with the money. So he put it up. And then when the master came, he offered him his money back, while telling him that he had not earned the money, that he had not gained it like everyone else should have. So, I will give this servant here that he had some sort of conscience about himself. So we're going to look at 26. This is where the problem come in at even deeper, because we're sitting with the Lord being compared as someone with servants, handing money to the servants, and then a servant complaining about how the money is being obtained by the master. And this is the master's response in verse 26. It says, His Lord answered and said unto him, Thou wicked, slothful servant. So there's that T right there. What does that word slothful mean? I'm just going to look at this so y'all can see that right there. Slothful. Let's get that. Slothful. That is the word lazy. That's the word lazy. Slothful. So we're going to go back up right here. And it says, His Lord answered and said unto him, Thou wicked, with the T right there, slothful servant, lazy servant. This is where it gets weird. It says, Thou knewest that I reap where I sowed not. The master just said that the servant knew before he took the money that the master didn't earn his money through a righteous situation. It says, Thou knew that I reap where I sowed not. That means that he took money from where he did not earn. It says right here, and gathered where I have not. Let's go right up here. It says right here, strawed. So the master in 26 knows and agrees with the servant. Yes, I didn't earn my money. No, I didn't straw or build anything with that money. Yes, I took it. He is agreeing with the servant who was scared to do anything with the money. My problem is you're comparing a story about a heavenly situation with someone who is kind of like a strong arm or, a Suge Knight in a sense. This guy is no different than, say, a drug dealer on the street. I mean, if you went into the hood and you gave 3 of your homies money and 2 of your friends went and flipped that money and 1 of your friends didn't flip that money but handed it back to you and told you that you didn't earn it through righteous ways, the gang member or the boss, the shug, is going to be like, well, we're all gang members. You know how the streets work. You know that I don't reap where I sow. You know that I take people money. You know how I get down. You know how I do business. So that's that conversation going on between 25 and 26. This is where things get bumpy once again. It says in 27, Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money into the, and there's a T right there next to exchangers. And that T for exchangers shows the word bankers. So it says, Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money into the bank. And then at my coming, I should have received my own with usury. So usury with the T next to it is showing the word interest. I should have received my own with interest. This is hood stuff right here. This is street stuff right here. When some guy is sitting there telling you, you should have flipped my money, and if at anything best, put it in a bank somewhere so I could have collected interest off of it. So the master is mad at this guy because he didn't take the dirty money and flipped it. Now I'm trying to understand, why is Jesus comparing Jerusalem, the kingdom of Jerusalem, to a man who was equivalent to Suge Knight? A man that is going around and taking what is not his and giving it to his friends and having his friends go do more with it and give him returns. And then he gets mad at one of his friends for not doing nothing with it and literally tells him The money, yes, is not mine, but you should have put it up and put it in a bank and made interest on it for me. So then we get to 29. It says right here. No, let's go back. That's 28. 28. It says, take therefore the talent. There's a T next to it. Take therefore the talent, money, the T. Take therefore the talent, the money, from him, and give it unto him which has 10 talents. So, question right there. Who took the money from him? Someone took the money from the guy. The money is being taken from the guy. So, obviously, the master is really mad. He's then took the money away from the guy. But it goes a little deeper. In 29, it says, for unto everyone that has shall be given, and he shall have abundance. I can imagine, this strong guy is literally saying, if you did what you were supposed to do, then you're going to have more because you did what you were supposed to do. You did what I asked. But it says right here, but from him that has not shall be taken away even that which he has. Let's read that again. But for him that has not shall be taken away, and even that which he has. So what are you saying? Are you saying that you took the money back and then you stole other things from him? Let's read that again. It says right here, 29. But from him that has not shall be taken away even that which he has. That money was taken away from him. That money probably came at a price for the guy for him not doing what he was supposed to do. I mean, in our world, he would have probably actually been beat up by several guys. Let's look at 30. And cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness. You mean to tell me that this dude got to get in outer darkness all because he didn't flip your stolen money? And Jesus is comparing this to Jerusalem.
You are a wicked servant if you do not double his money.
So, in Luke, they have this same story written. And I wanted to go back over to 24. Because I wanted y'all to understand that this man that is being compared to the kingdom of heaven, to Jerusalem, that Jesus is comparing in the red writing, is a hard man. It's more than a hard man. So let's go over here to 24 so we can look at this one more time. And then we're going to go and look at Luke, in particularly 24. It says, then he which had received 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art an hard man. I want y'all to know this word, hard man, inside of Luke. This is important because 24 tells you, is the master a good guy or a bad guy? So we're going to go and we're going to look inside of Luke to compare this. So let me fix it to the camera. We're looking at Luke 19, verse 21. It's the exact same story. Even if you look above, you can still see the money scene. So you know that this is about money. If you go back and you read over this. So this whole story is about money. But we get to 21. And this lets us know what type of person that is the master that is being compared to is like Jerusalem, is like the kingdom of heaven. So it says right here, for I feared thee, because thou art an Astore man. We're going to stop right there. See that dot dot right there? We're going to stop because that's a quote. I feared thee because thou art, there's a T, an Astore man. When you see that T, we're going to go down here and it says a harsh man, Astore. How many people look up words like that? Astore. That word right there, we're going to look at the definition to see what Astore means.
Austere, severe or strict in manner, attitude, or appearance. Synonyms: severe, stern, strict, harsh, unfeeling, stony, steely, flinty, dour, grim, cold, frosty, frigid, icy, chilly, unemotional, unfriendly, formal, stiff, stuffy, reserved, remote, distant, aloof, forbidding, mean looking, grave, solemn, serious, unsmiling, unsympathetic, unforgiving, uncharitable.
So, Astore is a harsh man by Bible terms. And when you look at his definition, it also has in there that he's an unfriendly man. So, this is kind of letting you know that this man that has been compared, you know, to the kingdom of heaven, you know, to Jerusalem, you know, being called a noble guy. This guy right here is not a good guy. You have to read this book for yourself. The biggest problem with this part of the book is when you're in church, the ministers, they sit and tell you that this whole portion is about your talents. Like you're supposed to go out in the world and you're supposed to use your talents. Rather if it's singing, like I said, carpentry, you know, whatever it is that you do, you're supposed to do it and you're supposed to do it for the Lord. In this right here, this is business right here. And the thing is the talent that the ministers tell you about isn't described inside of Luke or Matthew's. Because in Luke and Matthew, it's talking about talent as in someone went out and took the money, which is talent, and did something great with it. And one person didn't do nothing with the money and was basically scorned by the master. So you have to question why your ministers is telling you something different than what's inside of the Bible. The Bible doesn't say talent as in like your singing ability. That's not what this is. This is business. This is the kingdom of heaven is business. And you have to understand if the kingdom of heaven is business, then 9 times out of 10, this book could just be telling you that the kingdom of heaven is earth, because earth itself is this very business. There is men who walk through the world doing this very business right here. You know, you got those names, those Rothschilds, all that. They do this very business right here. They hand people money. They hand people money. And those people go out and do things with that money, purchase land, whatever it might be. That is who this Lord is inside of the Bible. He's no different than a Rothschild banker. You know, he gives his CEOs and mini CEOs money and they go and they start business, Pepsi Cola and whatever. And then you got one guy that knows the whole back scheme of this and doesn't want to do it, and he's scorned. You're not going to be thrown into utter darkness because you don't do something with money the way that people want you to do it. You know, that's a misconception right there. You're not going to get thrown into darkness. That is the problem of someone scaring you. And like I said, it grabs my heart because you have your ministers telling you this is talent of your ability when this story is talking about talent of as in what you do with the money. And you have to understand the world is the kingdom that they're talking about. You have to understand this. Money is no good to dead people. If you done passed on, money is no good. So how could this guy be compared to any kingdom other than what's here on earth? Because here on earth, money is king. So what I'm saying is Jesus is telling you you need to get his money. And Jesus has servants out there who go and do work for him. You have to understand a church is a 501c3. It is a nonprofit. It is a business. And it's doing that same job. So while they're sitting there telling you that you need to be showing your talents as in your singing abilities or trying to get you to do extra inside of the church, be a usher, whatever it is, their job is to do exactly what the scripture said. They were given talents, and with their talents, they opened up a church. And now they got people who come in and give donations, and in return, they'll pray for you. But they're doing the Lord's work. They are doing the Lord's work. The Lord said you were given talent. So if they were given money and they went and they started a church, then they are doing the Lord's work. But the problem is, you're paying for it. That's the problem. You're paying for it.
So in this parable, we are given a description of a man traveling by Jesus that he says is like heaven. We are supposed to go to heaven, right? However, according to this text, the description of heaven is hard. It takes where it does not sow. It gathers where it does not separate. Wow, I am not sure if heaven is a cool place. Well, if you still want to go, Jesus said you better have his money.